Hey everyone, my name is Isaac. I'm a 20-year-old entrepreneur, and if you've seen my videos already, you kind of might know a little bit about me or what kind of videos I make and what I do. But the quick snippet of it, and this is going to be really just off the cuff of a video, just a good life update sort of thing, but also trying to share some challenges as well. And so I've done a lot of uh, I've done a lot of entrepreneurial and business ventures throughout my life, and I guess for the past 6-7 years-ish, I've been always trying to hustle and make money. But like I was saying, I did go out and I used to make videos on finance, and I used to make videos on different hustles and just all a bunch of different things that were related to making money, being financially responsible, showing my journey, doing challenges, networking and everything like that, and then going out, taking the leap and moving out of my hometown to just go live in my car because I wanted to challenge myself to do that and just go and explore. I love going on adventures. I actually really enjoyed it. It wasn't even that hard, especially because nowadays you can get a gym membership, and which what I did is just use my Planet Fitness membership, use the showers and gym there, and I just traveled around and used different coffee shops or local areas like parks or anything if I needed to sit down and work on anything in my car. Other than that, it was a lot of also activities outside. I could go a lot hiking or walking or just exploring the city of Nashville is where I decided I was going to go to also expand my real estate career and my real estate connections. So there's a lot of different things I filled my time with last year, exploring, outside of my hometown, and then trying to just learn from different people in different areas with an intention of trying to build out more of my real estate business, of trying to flip more houses, trying to really just create better connections that I could learn from within the real estate industry, and just separate myself from what I was used to growing up. And that really helped me a lot with just my goal of learning and growing and seeing new things and getting outside of my comfort zone, and also doing it really the hard way, which it's the cheaper way of just living in the car, but it is a much harder way. I think it was a lot of fun. It added a little bit of adventurous excitement to it, and it ended up being that I ended up getting a place to stay. I ended up getting an office. I actually slept in the office, and then just because I wanted to use as minimal resources as I could so that I could go enjoy those opportunities and spend my money elsewhere, whether it was trying to have like some fun experience or just really into the business was my main goal. And I spent money in marketing, which also is kind of what I wanted to talk about today, of where I probably should have put my resources, or what I should have done better, and kind of where I'm at today is, it's a year later since I moved back to my home state. I moved back just before Halloween of 2023, after I spent six or so months of exploring the Nashville area, and then I ended up actually finding a good deal, and I flipped a house. Learned a lot about projects. Learned a lot within that deal, and also brought in some partners. Unfortunately, timelines and my personal decisions ended up making it so that we lost money on those deals because I ended up making a bad decision within the sale process, and trying to find buyers. And of course, there's always things that do better, and there's always things you can learn from. And unfortunately, I made a very costly mistake, and I was trying to get maybe a little bit too greedy. I was trying to get a little bit more from a buyer than they were offering. They were offering much lower than we were asking, although what they were offering, it was still going to make money. And I should have understood that, hey, in this business, you should probably just accept the offer if you're going to make money, especially if you're going into the winter season and the market hasn't been all that great, especially when you don't have other offers on the table. You should really just accept that offer, and that's a big lesson that I can take into future deals and everything else. It's just really unfortunate because that one costly mistake cost me relationships. It cost me money for not even just 1 year. I'm still trying to make my comeback from that mistake, and it's taken a toll a lot in different areas, but it's also helped me grow in a lot of different areas. And so that whole journey and adventure was super fun, and honestly, there's been back and forth in my own mind of whether I should have just stayed down there or should have went back down there to, create another opportunity or go after another deal, or really just try to build more of a foundation in that area away from my hometown. That's, it's a bigger city. It has a bigger economy. It also, had those relationships I spent months making. And so I've always been back and forth on whether, it was a good choice to stay in Vermont. But here we are, 1 year later. I've been here, and I built a lawn care business again. I only really, took like a year break from lawn care because I wanted to focus on the real estate. I wanted to just have the freedom and opportunity to go anywhere without having to service customers still. And that's really why I just decided to shut down the business, was because of the freedom aspect and mostly opportunity cost of I really just wanted to be full on attention onto the real estate side. And learning a lot within the real estate business, I ended up deciding that the market at that point was not a market I wanted to play in right now, and maybe it was a bad decision. I should have just maybe figured it out. But I think at the end of the day, if it's really not anything you're going to want to do or anything you see for yourself doing, I don't think it's always the right thing to just keep pursuing that, especially because when, if I really thought logically, I was like, I really don't feel like I want to take this kind of risk right now within this business. And so that entire, opportunity was really just like, I don't want to be a part of this. So I had to spend months, and it was a hard time because I didn't want to think I quit. I didn't want to think I'd given up, which in the end of the day, it's kind of true. I gave up on the opportunity. There's other people making money in the space. I could have changed it and went a different direction. It's just all the other options I didn't want to do for my life and what I wanted to do at that moment, or even in this moment. So I decided, let's take all my skills that I've already learned, and I've already built a successful lawn care business before. Let me just get right back into that. I need capital quickly to recover from this loss, and I just need to make a decision quick. So what I ended up doing was starting fresh. Within 30 days, I think it was basically 30 days. I made that decision really late. It was like spring. I decided, hey, let's go into the lawn care business full on. I traded my RAV4, bought this truck that I'm in now. It's 2020 Duramax, so that I could be able to haul and do whatever I wanted to do with it to make money. And then I went and got a trailer. I went and got a mower. It was all pretty much thought out within less than a week. After I made that decision, I wanted to act quickly and get everything set up. And then within the first month of actually launching it off in the spring, I made my first $10,000 in a month. And we stayed pretty steadily for that, mostly through the entire summer. It was between like anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000, depending on the projects and what happened that month. But we stayed pretty steady enough to where I could say we did at least 10, even some months we did 15,000 actually. So it averaged out right where I wanted to be. My target in the beginning of the summer was, hey, I just need to make $10,000 a month quickly. How can I do it? And lawn care was the choice, and we ended up doing that. So that brings us really to today. It is now mid-November, almost Thanksgiving again, and it's been crazy how fast time has been flying. I've also been seeing a lot of other people in a mix of getting hurt from the real estate business right now, trying to still recover. People got hit at different times with all the crazy things happening to the economy and the interest rates, within the real estate economy, I should say, and how a lot of flippers just lost millions of dollars, and so they had to spend a year recovering. And I'm still seeing other people recover just like I am, because I'm more on the late side, while others already recovered and they're back up and at it. There's some that didn't even really get hit too hard, and they were able to adapt very quickly and to a different side of the business, and they are still crushing it. And then I think there's a lot of people like me who decided I'm sick of this business and I don't want to do it right now. And so we kind of ventured off into something else that still gave us opportunities to use our skills and know-how from what we learned from the real estate business. And so right now it's been a struggle of trying to figure out what we're doing for the winter. So that's more of now to 6 months, from now to May is my next problem to solve of what we do for the winter services, what I can do to bring in a lot of more additional income, because lawn care services is only that 6-month window for our grass growing season of May to October, and then you have cleanups within that. And so really right now we're just not doing anything other than I have subs out for plowing, and I'm just trying to maybe get some more driveways. Other than that, I don't want to go full on too hard in the plowing side yet this year, and then I'm really just trying to figure out something else that we could do. That way when I do hire employees, it won't be too big of a problem to solve where they would be laid off for 6 months. Instead, I'd rather keep them full-time year-round. And sometimes it's really a hard thing to do in this business. That's a big problem a lot of people have, especially in this area, which has always given me thoughts of whether or not I should have stayed in Vermont or could have done it in Tennessee, and we would have had a longer season to work with, which I could have. I think I had to make a decision very quickly and had to act very quickly, and it was much easier to use all the resources I already had in an area I already knew to get to 10K a month very quickly, so that I could start paying back off of all the losses that I took on from that deal. I could always think about how I could have just made one little decision and I would have been probably at least 20 to 30 grand in the green. But then I also think about, hey, what would have my decision been after that? What would I have done even if I had the money? Maybe I wouldn't have had the lesson, and I think things would be a lot different now, which I am happier with that I made a decision to go back into the service business. It opened my eyes up in a different way to look at where I actually want to be in 5 years, 10 years, how I want to restructure everything to build a life that I actually would mold into and fit into. And that turned out to be an answer of I want to just buy and grow businesses, whether it's not, I'm starting this one. I think this will be maybe one of few that I start. It'll transition into me wanting to buy something that's already existing to make that better. I would enjoy much more, and there's a lot more on the leverage side that I can attest to of if you buy a business that's spent 10 years building itself, it already has employees, it already has money coming in, you're not taking a big risk of starting from nothing again. And not many times do people want to start from nothing again, especially when they already have a business that's doing good. They'd rather just keep on moving along instead of taking on the risk to go back to zero. And it's been a huge eye-opening thing, and I wouldn't have known that if I didn't take that loss. I wouldn't have known that if I didn't decide, this is the path I'm going to focus on. And it's a path that I understand now that I would much more enjoy, is focusing on the buying and growing businesses instead of real estate. I think the returns are better. I think um, the way I like to live anyways is I love business. And on the real estate side, the only business you grow on that side is the flipping or wholesaling or novation side. That's the business side. And the other things are more of the investment side of whether you're going to buy big multifamily buildings, commercial buildings, single family homes. And right now, it's never really a good time to start out buying rentals, because rentals, yes, they might be able to get you good cash flow, but if you don't have active income, they really don't make you enough money. And you should spend more time on your skills, or for me, I should spend more time on my skills and education to get to where I want to go. And that's where in business I can really actively grow income, and I can even look at it as an investment, just like real estate. It's an asset I can buy, and I can 10x the value of that asset. And there's nothing like a business cash flow comparatively to real estate cash flow. You can't really 10x your cash flow on real estate unless it's already, unless you do a ton of work to it, fix it up, and then fill in a lot of the units. But there's still a cap there. In business, there's not really a cap. It's all about how much you can really grow the business and how much you decide you want to put into the business. And then you can really just 10x, 100x that business, versus real estate. It always has a cap. There's always a market value. There's always a rent value. There's only so much you can do. And I'm not saying real estate is horrible. Real estate is still amazing. I think right now it's just a pause for me to, focus on business and growing my skills and growing as an entrepreneur versus growing as a asset investor, which later on I would love to do is, put my money back into the real estate asset class, because it does have a lot of benefits, especially once I'm making a lot more money. I need more tax savings, and it's very good to have as your savings bank, because it will grow over 30 years. It will grow over a long period of time and keep your money pretty safe in a class that will keep on growing and people will always be using. And so I'll never not like real estate. I'll get back into real estate eventually. And, I always think about now, it's like, man, what if I'm just doing wholesaling innovations and making 15K a pop, 20K a pop here? And I could have totally done that. I could still do that maybe in the future. Right now, my focus is more on the home services side. I want to build out this landscaping business and then work my way into building out, a parent company or holding company that can buy other businesses and grow those businesses, and then put them all in under one holding company per category, so that, I think my goal would be to categorize them into one, so that each, home service business helps one another with their own customers in that service area. And if I wanted to, I can either keep it, or it creates a very high exit value. So if I wanted to go sell all those businesses combined, if they are combined and they work together, it's worth much more. So that's the game I've decided I wanted to play. And in life and business, it's all really a game that you decide which route you want to play. And now this is kind of the route I'm on and the decision I've made. So that's where we're at. And I just kind of want to make this update because last time I've made a video was over a year ago, and I was, in Nashville still, and my mind was in a much different space or a much different focus. And I was, I've had a year to now learn and grow differently, and I have a more understanding of where I'm going, even though every day it can be still a struggle of like, what am I going to do? I think I have more understanding of myself, and it's just going to be a different focus of a different grind now, to focus more on how can I, build my company to service more lawns, and how can I hire and train people so that way I can focus on growing the company even further. And how do we want to grow the company? Do we want different locations? Do we want to expand out regionally? Do we want to expand out, nationally? So there's always those questions. Or it's like, how do you want just one location where you bring in, 1 to 3 million, and you kind of just put that on autopilot? So there's always questions and figuring out what to do and how to grow it. And right now I'm in the stage of, it was my first year back in, so even though I already had these other years that gave me the experience which actually helped me launch off in the first year, I still, this is my first year rebranding, redoing everything differently, with a different focus, with more knowledge around business, whereas beforehand I didn't really know where I wanted to go with the business, and that kind of made me see the real estate as a better option, a better opportunity, which at the end of the day, it's one of those things where I do think real estate was a little shiny object syndrome, where it's like something I looked at, it was very shiny, it could make a lot of money, but at the end of the day, I enjoyed the lawn business, I enjoyed the service business, and I should have just kept with it, but I didn't see any growth with it. I didn't see where I was going to go, so it was very hard for me to stick with something if I didn't see anything coming from it. So that's what made me shut it down. But now that we have a different focus, I have a different idea of where to go, it's made it much easier and much clearer to me that the lawn service business is the one I'm going to focus on and grow with. So thank you guys for coming in, and I just want to wrap it up here because I don't want to make it too long. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully this can help provide value to you guys, and I'll make more videos in the future. I'm trying to make them every week now. It'll be just off the cuff, probably just in my truck just like this, and I'll be bringing in more business advice, whether it's around being a self-improved entrepreneur or business specific. Just kind of give updates about my business, where I'm at, and I'm just going to take ideas from whatever happens pretty much on the weekly basis of whatever I'm thinking about, and I can help provide to anybody else listening, whatever stage you're in, and maybe you're a young entrepreneur as well, maybe you're younger, maybe you're older, but you're still just barely getting into the business side of things and need some help, or need someone that you can also see struggling and learning and growing with you, and hopefully I can provide that to you guys. So if you'd like to join, just hit that subscribe button. I'd love to get up to 1,000 subscribers. It's always been one of my goals, so hopefully I can make good videos that you guys enjoy and can learn from, most importantly, and grow. So if this does help you in any way, please give me a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.